MSU on three. 1, 2, 3.
MSU.
Hi, everybody. Stuart Jolley along with Tim Clifton. We'll get the official things out of the way first. We stepped this off, so we're 6 feet apart. Secondly, Coach, you had it before I did.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I gave it to you.
no, the COVID, whatever this thing is, took out the Cliftons, and then it took out the Jollies, all 4 of us. So he and I have talked about that. It is real. If you have not had it, I hope you do not get it. It is quite the thing. Somebody says, yeah, you wouldn't wish that on anybody. I said, no, not at all.
No, it's a little tough. It's for people getting old. It's a little.
It is,
it's
which
tougher.
he and I had to ask about that. But
That's exactly
there
right.
we go. Because of that, here we are doing a football show in February, and we're going to be playing football within a month.
Yep.
Things you and I never thought we would ever say. Part of that, no, all of that, impacted by COVID. Talk about that real quick, then we'll look at where we are on recruiting.
Well, it's been hard on everybody, and the Division I schools, a lot of them were able to pull it off, and the NFL was able to pull it off, and it was basically about finance. They were able to pull it off by finance. I thought we did a great job, as a university handling the COVID situation in the fall. I thought our administration did a great job. I thought our students did a great job, and the professors and the staff. I think everybody worked extremely hard to get through the fall. And, we got some work in. We only got 7 practices in the fall. But now we're trying to get back into it. And without a fall camp, it's really been strange. Somebody asked me the other day, said, well, when you going to play? And I went November 12th. Well, it's not November 12th.
Habit's a nice thing.
But I'm in, you're in that mood because that's where you've been all your career. So, it's been different, and it's been different for our players.
I was making the loop through campus yesterday evening and saw the team out practicing. I will say this. You could just tell the energy, the excitement, the enthusiasm. Yeah, it was almost the point, I haven't used this word in a long time, everybody was giddy about we are back doing this. Now, it's strange because, well, it's spring and we don't normally do this in spring. But your guys were locked in. They were really focused. And I will tell you, as your friendly neighborhood announcer and community person, that's such a good look to look on that field and see our young people ready to go.
Yeah, I tell you, they've had an unbelievable attitude, and they've worked extremely hard. They practice with a lot of excitement, and they come out and as you said, they focus in, and I think they're just the relief of being able to get on the field and not having to be in their room and not being, because right now you're basically going to class, then you go from class to the cafeteria to your room, back to the cafeteria, back to your room, and being able to come down to the field house and go to practice. I think for over 100 guys, I think it's been their outlet, and it has been an awesome sight to see. And the coaches are having a great time. And, what you're doing now is you're not taking anything for granted anymore. We're just coming out and practicing and going full speed. And we're going to, you're going to let the chips fall where they fall and just go to work and have a lot of fun. And they look forward to it. We got guys that are on the field. If nobody's on the field, if another team's not on the field, you'll look out there and they're an hour early, and back in the day, grudgingly were out there 10 minutes before.
That's
so
right.
just watching them go out and have a lot of fun and go through the excitement they're going through even before we practice is an awesome thing to watch.
You and I have talked so many times over the years, both on and off camera, about how blessed we are with the young people that come into this program, and that is caused by the fact you just have a superb coaching staff that makes that happen. So we've had this thing called National Signing Day, and for those that don't know, well, just kind of let the expert here tell us what's happened, because that's one of those things, you click on ESPN or you click on your local sports store station, everything, and you're like, man, they've had that. Rarely do they tell you why.
Yeah, you have that day because number one, it's great for the young people, and with social media the way it is today, it's really for them, it's a big thing for them, their families, and it's a great day for us as a university to sign these young men. And we don't sign as many on National Signing Day sometimes as the other Division ones, but we'll still sign young men, as we go through this process, and we'll finish up, sometime in May or June with our total class. But we still got a group of guys we wanna sign and get here. But we ended up and we were able to basically we were able to get 23 guys the first day, basically, or right at 23, and we filled a lot of needs. And I tell you what's funny is you're talking about having a new class, and you still got a new class here. The freshmen that are here, they hadn't played yet. They've been practicing. Now they're in their second semester of practicing. So you're looking at them and you're evaluating them in practice, and you forget you got another class coming in right now. So we're excited about the group we signed. We were able to fill some needs. We were able to sign a quarterback, and we were signed 2 offensive linemen and 2 defensive linemen, and we signed 4 wide receivers, and we lost 3 wide receivers, and we signed 4 wide receivers. We signed 3 linebackers, and 7 DBs, and we were able to fill our needs at linebacker, D-line, in the secondary, and at linebacker. And then on offense, with the 2 offensive linemen, we still want to get 1 more. And then, I think we need one more wide receiver. We need a tall wide receiver like we've had in the past. And, and I think we're looking to sign maybe 1 more quarterback. So we still have some work to do, but really excited about this class. And I tell you, it was different because North Carolina didn't play. Yeah. So the North Carolina kids you got coming, they didn't play a senior year. You signed them off their junior year, which is sometimes that's hard to do. And but you had the other states, Georgia and Florida and South Carolina, they went ahead and played high school football. So, but to some of them you couldn't get on campus. You had to do virtual virtual tours with, and you had to take them around and show them the facilities, either on FaceTime or Zoom or whatever. So that was different, and visiting with the parents, FaceTime was different. But we had, so recruiting in itself was completely different than it's been in the past.
Looking at kind of the geographical representation of these athletes. Traditionally, Mars Hill's drawn a lot from our neighboring states. Did we stick to that model this year, or did that change some things up also?
Yeah, I think with Georgia playing and the Atlanta area not that hard to get to from here, I think we ended up signing like 14 from Georgia, you know, and but we've always had a foothold in the state of Georgia, and we've always had a little bit of a foothold in Florida, you know. So we were able to, but you know, we got them out of Florida, we got them out of Georgia, we got them out of South Carolina, and we got them out of North Carolina, we got them out of the mountains, and we brought in, got us a receiver out of Kentucky, whose uncle played here. Antoine Jones was a great player.
Yes, he was.
And then his brother Elroy Harris played here, who was a phenomenal player for us, and his first cousin Troy Harris, who was all conference defensive end player of the year, played here. So Brooke has got a lineage that's unbelievable. But you know, we've just been able to get into Georgia and Florida easier this year than in the past because of COVID.
A lot of that is connections, I would presume. Would we have I think I know the answer to this question, but for the longest period of time we had a great representation of guys that had played for us, whether it was you as head coach or someone else as head coach, and then they are in the coaching ranks at the high school level in Florida in particular. Are those still kind of how those connections are leading to this recruiting?
Yeah, I think, you know, in the Orlando area, David Langdon is down that way, and he always helps set us up with different players and different schools, and Kevin Barnett has that area. And, you know, Craig Rucker came out of that area. So, and one of the other coaches down there, Coach Middleton, whose brother played here, he is you know, helps in that community, helps us with those players. And then in Georgia, Joe Hillens from Georgia, Thomas Reese used to coach in Georgia, I used to coach in Georgia. So the Georgia connections are there. And then in the mountain areas here, Thomas Reese is from the mountains. Coach Barnett handles part of the mountains. And then Coach Pfeiffer gets us on the east, you know, with the guys that we get out of the east, and he helps in Georgia and in South Carolina. So, and Coach Goodwin has, you know, he's from the Hickory area all the way over to Greensboro. So, you know, we've got some connections. Coach Goodwin's dad was a high school coach, so we've got the connections in some of those areas. Sometimes you just start with what we did this year. We've had some new connections in the Atlanta area, which really helped us.
In looking at the young gentlemen that you have recruited, matching them up with the crew that's already here. You touched on this briefly, but I'd like to go into a little bit of details of it. Current crew, they're going to get an extra year of eligibility. Okay. How does that, from a coaching perspective, what are the pluses of that, and what are the, oh my goodness, our cupboard's only so big?
Yeah, I think for the young guys, for a freshman that's been here, I think it really is helping them to play 4 games. Really just the practice part of it, just us practicing and them getting reps in practice, I think has been good for the freshmen and the sophomores that didn't have opportunity to play, you know, in 19. I think those guys, it has given them an advantage. I think the ones that did play as a freshman in 19 now getting this time and being able to redshirt, I think that will help them athletically. But I think the biggest thing that all of them are getting is that extra year to make sure they graduate. Because some guys, you know, if you play as a freshman, in 4 years you're done, and it takes a lot of times it takes, you know, 4 years and a semester to graduate. So this is going to help guys that are trying to figure out how to get that last semester to graduate. them redshirting, I think, really helps those guys, especially ones that played as freshmen and didn't get a redshirt year. And then the seniors, they can play these 4 plus come back.
And now that we have a good, solid graduate program,
Yes,
we have that option that used to we didn't have at all.
that's right. And they can go in, to the business school or go into, criminal justice, education, or whatever. The ones that are seniors that have started or played for 4 years, they're going to get to finish up for them, and that'll be great. And I think just about every senior, when this is over, that have played the 4 games, I think we'll get all of them back except maybe one. It might be 1 or 2 that already have jobs. If they already have jobs lined up and they finish in May, I would push them to go start their jobs. We've got maybe 1 or 2 right now, but the rest of them, I think they'll be back. I think they'll be back excited about playing. If I was a senior, I get to play 4 and then get to turn around and play another year.
Absolutely.
Man, it can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
So I would be excited if I was them.
You touched on this briefly about the North Carolina high school young people. State Athletic Association chose to not have football in the fall. They did have like volleyball and basketball. In fact, I'll be commentating that on a high school game, and players are wearing masks during the game. Officials wearing masks. Even the radio crews wearing masks. From a just wide view for our listeners and those that log on just out of curiosity, Line Athletics, how has that impacted 2 things? One, those young people in terms of being seen by other programs that they want to go on after high school graduation, and 2, are there going to be some unique advantages perhaps because more schools, because they've already gotten the bulk of their recruiting out of the way, maybe have saved a few scholarships back and can focus in on those kids this spring? What you think, Coach?
Yeah, I think it's for the North Carolina players and Virginia, because Virginia's doing. For the North Carolina guys, I think it was a little bit of a detriment with COVID. I think COVID will hurt some guys that would have gotten opportunities to play college football. The Division I's are done. I mean, they're all done, and usually it's Division II's can come in during the fall and pick up some guys that are maturing a little bit later, and the Division I's are finished. So I think now what's going to happen is there are going to be some guys out there when this thing is over looking. They're going to have to be, because it's hard to judge a guy off his junior year. He might be 195 as a junior, and then he's 210 as a senior, and his maturity level, has gotten better, and he just becomes a more physical or better player his senior year. I mean, some guys just mature and morph into a better player their senior year. So I think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be some guys that are still out there. We will recruit some North Carolina guys now when they start playing. We'll go back. We've looked at their junior year. We've evaluated them. Now they'll be on the radar for their senior year. And there was some we hadn't made judgments on, and I'm sure a lot of Division II's hadn't made judgment on, and FCS schools maybe hadn't made judgment on all of them yet. We're gonna go out there and try to find those guys that have been left behind because of COVID, you know, and I think some guys that might not have received anything will get something too. I think it's going to cut both ways. I think it's going to cut from guys that didn't get something that probably would have, and then the guys that probably wouldn't have now will because of the playing in the spring.
And based upon how specific coaches are assigned specific areas, I would imagine for North Carolina and Virginia, you've got now more flexibility that, okay, if Barnett had Florida, he's now freed up to see somebody down in Fayetteville or
That's right.
Wilmington or those type of things.
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to get out now and go see them, you know,
And I would imagine that may not necessarily pay a dividend this year in some cases, but just having that connection next year and the next year may pay some dividends.
I think we, you know, you stretch North Carolina to a certain part, and then that's as far as you stretch it because they pass so many institutions getting here, you know, where if they come, and that's, you know, that's, you come from Georgia, you come from Atlanta, basically you're going to pass Western Carolina before you get here, you know, and but if you come from Fayetteville and places like that, you're going to pass a lot of Division II schools. I think we have more Division II schools probably than about any state in the country.
Yes, sir.
You know, so, but I think what will happen, though, I think you're right in one respect. Some coaches have never reached out to us that are further away. They're going to reach out to us because they're going to say, you know, we've got this kid. He got passed over. Can you help us? You know, and so I think that's going to help. And I just think there'll be another group, and we'll do like anybody else. we'll have a workout, you know, and bring in some more guys.
We will be back later on, probably this same month, talk about spring football and the football season. Currently, the setup is 4 games.
Yes.
The SAC has divided into, is it a Piedmont, Mountain, East, West, high elevation, low elevation breakdown of teams, and we will have 2 scheduled home games, 2 scheduled away games. They will be timed so there does not have to be any overnight travel for any of the teams. Now that is current as of today. You know how this works in the world of COVID, in the world of collegiate athletics. We can finish this interview up and then end up having to tag on something else within the next day or two. We look forward to you being able to follow what we do on live streams. That's basically going to be it. There will be no visiting fans in the stands, and we're going to cap at 100, I do believe, is what the current guideline is. That, too, may change. But, Coach, I'm excited that we're back doing this again, that your young people were as fired up as they were. And, again, hats off to you and your coaching staff. You've made those connections over the years. And when we get back to the normal, please come out and see these guys play. They are just quality young people, and as Tim and I and his coaching staff said so many times, yes, we want them to enjoy their time here, graduate from here, but we want them to become good leaders, good community people, good dads, and it happens. And then, as you said early on, we're getting back the nephew of this person that played here, or the son, or so on and so forth.
Yeah, so we've had, I think, 8 of our former players' sons now come and play here, and some of them are better than fathers, you know. But
not that we would ever rug them about that.
And one or
we
two
wouldn't rag
probably
about that at all.
well, you probably weren't as good as their dad, but it sure is fun to be able to go by and say, your dad wouldn't have done that. Good or bad.
Good or bad. Just let that hang out there.
That's
all right. Folks, thank you for joining us. Tim Clifton and I will be back later in this month. We'll give you some heads up on when this will be posted and some reminders along the way. And again, if you've not had the opportunity to join our Lions Athletic Club, which is the booster arm of what we do here in University Athletics, please do so. It makes a huge difference. State-of-the-art weight room. How many decades did it take for us to say state-of-the-art weight room? Logoed weights, those type things. For those of you that were here at Mars Hill years ago, the 2 racquetball courts have been combined into a great weight room. I'm sure Ammons still makes a difference in terms of football facility when it comes to your recruiting.
First-rate locker room.
And all of that is because people love back on this institution, and we appreciate that. So for Lion head football coach Tim Clifton, I'm Stuart Jolley. We'll be back later on with more Mars Hill Athletics. Till then, so long for now.
Hey, MHU on 3. 1, 2, 3.
MHU